Yo, what's up, everybody? Hitman BK here. I got another one for you on Justice League Endgame. I'm going to show you kind of like what it is and how it works. I just hit Bane Tier 3, my general thoughts on it. I've got some positive and negatives, things that I think are really important as somebody who has partaked in a lot of looter shooters, kind of where I sit, and why you should still be excited, and then how much actually rides pretty much on season 1, and again what that content rollout looks like. If you guys like it here, make sure you like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what you think. Are you enjoying the game? You know, all the usual stuff. Sound off. I do this for fun, so let's get right into it. We're gonna do a little intro and then we'll come back to the game. All right, so this is like where I'm at right now. This is my boomer. This guy I've been playing with. I have yet to go in and get the other characters ranked. Honestly, I really like this game. I like the grind that's in it and the loot. I think it's pretty interesting. I've created a sort of grenade-based suicide traversal build here that has gotten me. I mean, I just cook through things, especially I've got some talents, especially on especially solo. So what it is, what is in game, how did this work? So if you are here, if you've hit in game, you're gonna see this. This is the finite, I guess. I feel like it's supposed to be called infinite, but it's basically finite crisis mode. Inside of this crisis mode, you have your loot, which you can hit, I believe, triangle. This is on PlayStation 5 to show off your sets. I just now got to the Bane Tier 3 set. I'm missing one on Tier 1. But you can clearly see I've been playing the game, and I've got all the notorious items. This is great. I love this. This will probably be in every season where you can kind of like get a visual identity on what loot there is in the game. You can even click through and see everything, how they work, how they function, to help set up grinding. And each of these Bane sets as well are farmable. And that's honestly really nice. And clearly this will change again in season 1, where if we comb over here, this will become the Joker's world, right? And then there'll be a triangle here, and I assume what we'll see when we hit triangle, when we go into the set there, we'll see notorious items that have been added to the game and the 3 different tier sets for the Two-Face gear set. So that's what this is. But once you get here, what it is that you're doing, what this in game is, y'all, I mean, just pure honesty, is continuing to play kind of modes you play through the campaign. The campaign is pretty much a build your team and get you acclimated with the systems that are in play that you'll be doing once you reach the end game. And that consists of farming the open world to raise your finite crisis ranking. That's your first ranking, and that's going to be right there in the middle of my screen. You can hold up on the D-pad again. That'll take you to your ranking, which mine is 55, and what that means through here. From 1 to 30, you can get notorious items. From 1 up, you start the tier 1 Bane sets. From infinite crisis 30 up, you get the tier 2. 60 up is the tier 3. That is for the open world and the things that you do in the open world. It gives you the chance to grab these, right? And which is completely different than this Kill the Brainiac Mastery. This is a mayhem mode. What that is also tied to is that different rankings, new modes are going to unlock. So when you first load into the end game, once you've beaten the game, you're going to see these 3 incursions. This is going to be your points of contact for much of the end game. That looks like this. You come to this little incursion mode. You're going to hit square, select your difficulty, and you'll see there's a whole other set of systems in play here, which are called Mastery. And Mastery 1 to 10 is Bane Tier 1, 10 to 20 or 10 to 19 is Bane Tier 2, and then 20 onwards is Bane Tier 3 gear. And that's what you're going to start doing. And you don't actually have to do each of the 3 to go up a ranking. What you can do is essentially, like, you know, look at which one you're the lowest on, go and attack that and do it on the highest mastery that you have. These go pretty fast. That is the upside to this. That's why I like the loop. It's grindy, but it doesn't feel as grindy because these don't take long. Like, you zoom through these modes like so fast. They're a blast to play if you are enjoying the general gameplay of the game. They are the same thing over and over again. And what those look like are going to be This is the shield generator mode, right? Where you go and there's A, B, and C, hit the little shields to eventually take out the big shield. This is that like enema looking device that gets shown pumped into the ground that has like the alien in it that screams, and you go through 3 rounds of killing enemies to charge the device, get into the shield, hit square, kill everyone, rinse and repeat 3 times. And this one is the poison ivy mission you've been doing, where the big plant comes up and then you protect it as she's doing her research. So when you load into the game, you're going to start doing these. These are going to raise your mastery rank, as well as rank up your finite crisis ranking. And as you rank that up, you'll eventually unlock, I believe it is at 10, killing time, which is a horde based mode that goes up to 50. Essentially, it's mastery levels inside there that you start off at sweating bullets, work your way up, try to go as far as you can. And once you start it, you can escape it. So you go as far as you can. You're like, oh crap, I need to get out of here before I die. And you try to escape. If you do die, you will lose your progress and everything and have to start over. So, oh, my video is officially dead. So we're just going to hide this. No need to see it anyways. So yes, that is what killing time is. And then at level 30 or 20, I believe, I forget where this unlocked. I think it's 20. You'll unlock the hardcore version of this mode. And then at 30, you will unlock the Brainiac Mayhem mode. Mayhems are the boss fights. And these are also going to be what get added into the game as content starting season 1. Okay, so that's how your map kind of works. And while doing all this, you are farming that P currency right next to my money, Prometheum or whatever it is. That's what it's used to. Like right now, you can see I cannot afford to do a incursion because I am out of monies. The best way to do that is to tackle these objectives, or the most efficient farm is actually to run throughout the world and kill the red little squid looking guys. They're called, like, one of them's called loot knots that'll come up. You should be like, there's a loot knot you can go kill and it drops loot. Well, there are red ones that drop resources, and the higher difficulty, which you can see on the squad here, the higher difficulty you have your world, which mine is currently at the max, invasion level 5, the more those will give you. And at invasion level 5, when you kill a little red squid guy, you're going to get like almost 2,000 of the currency to go into incursions. And these incursions are cool because you can actually farm here, right? Like right here, you can see that this one gives you shield and grenades Bane Infamy sets. This gives you the firearms Bane Infamy sets. And this gives you the neck bomb and Lucky Charm. And I believe when you choose a mastery, you're farming for that tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. So if I was to go in here right now and do this mastery 20, the odds are when the Bane gear drops, it's going to be tier 3 gear. If I wanted to farm tier 2 gear, I should stay within the 1 to 19. And if I wanted to farm tier 1 gear, 1 to 9. Why would you do that? They're different. On my build, I actually am using a 3-piece tier 2. And I might have changed it, y'all. To be honest, I did change it. I'm using 1 piece on tier 1, but originally I was using a 2-piece tier 2 and a 3-piece tier 1, and I was combining these piece bonuses. That is the difference. So that's the other thing to think about when you're looking at gear and what is changing based on the tier sets on Bane. The actual piece bonus is what is different. It's not going to be that successful critical reloads with this firearm trigger a stack of frenzy. That's not going to change. That's going to stay true through all 3 rankings. But the actual 1-piece, 2-piece, and 3-piece bonus for each tier does indeed change. So that's why you'll farm those. And then you will actually get to a spot like with my King Shark here, where the higher up you get in mastery levels, the better chance you're going to have at gaining one of these, which is a master one man leaves infamous weapon. And you can get master weapons as well for the Bizarro. Everything actually in the game has that. Like, but I have a master black mass bullet storm too. What does master do? If you're asking that question, it actually changes your core stats. Seems to be the only way to get more DPS, right? So my regular black mass bullet storm here is doing a 1546 with a total of a 4600 possible damage per hit, whereas the master is that's almost 2300 and almost a 7000 damage per hit. So it's a big boost in terms of the damage per hit. So it's definitely worth farming those masters if you're looking to go up as high as you can and make, the best build that you can. So The general end game is very much a build game. It is a go into these incursions, attack this world, and see how far you can take your character and have fun with buds. That's really what it seems like they've built the core principle around, with the idea of being that this Nexus will grow that. So, starting season 1, we'll have Two-Face up right here. We'll be going into Joker's Metropolis world, or essentially load into another version of Earth or whatever, right? And this is going to happen 13 times, and you can see that in the kill list. So if you look at this kill list right here, you can see, what's that, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. There's 12 Brainiacs, and you can kind of see that it looks like they're kind of separated into the incoming seasons, right? So I would assume they're somewhere in here. It's probably, I don't know how exactly, maybe it's sets of 3, but I don't really know how that's going to work. But basically each of these are the upcoming season, and the seasons will take us to 13 different incursions or 13 different Earths. So by the end of year 1, when we are in this Nexus, we'll be scrolling over 13 times. So 13 different Nexus modes or Nexus areas, right? And those 13 modes will, essentially bring the variety into the game. At base level, at base game, for anyone who is hard farming it, you will hit a wall. You will hit an habitual question mark on what do I do now that I've hit tier 20 and can farm tier 3 gear. And the answer is literally just what you've been doing. Chase after your friends if that's what you're into. You're on the social leaderboards. You can chase after, like, climbing the leaderboards within your clan or within your friend group. If that sounds negative, it's not a negative or a positive to me. If you want me to comment on that, I think it's fun for me. It feels very casual. It almost feels like a Diablo-esque system here, where you can come in, achieve, and leave, and then come in per each episode of the season. This is where I get into, I don't know like how important it is for these seasons to do well, because they're each going to be separated into 2 parts, and it's going to roll out every 6 weeks. So every 6 weeks we'll be getting new infamy sets and new notorious items to farm, as well as new mayhem modes and activities. So this map will slowly become more and more filled up with things to do. The biggest question mark I have on that is gonna be difficulty, because if we all have builds, it'll be interesting to see like what the pinnacle mode is. Like, why do I even bother going after the new boss fights if I'm already decked out in master loot and I can just dunk on Brainiac? I'm curious to see what that'll look like in terms of difficulty moving forward as we progress through seasons, and if that'll become stale maybe, or boring because there isn't a raid, right? This is where you get in when you get in live service games like Destiny and things like that. No matter how hard you farm, you're still gonna have a solid challenge in front of you when you do raids, and a lot of that's also because of the mechanics, not necessarily the power default as much as it is the mechanics and what that looks like. So anyways, all that's to say, a lot of this will depend on the length of this game. It's going to depend on how well these season rollouts come and what they look like and how interesting the gear is and the activities that they put into place. Because clearly at this rate, right, for a lot of us who grind a lot, in 6 weeks we'll be pretty bored, right? We'll have everything. We'll have mastered out, looted, and probably kitted out more than one character, which could, So yeah, the life of the game I do think depends on how well these seasons look and then if this 6-week rollout continues to really bring fresh stuff into the game that pushes us back into it. In general, though, that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about. You also have contracts to go after, but none of it's really as important as like the actual, like what you are doing is farming for gear. And once you've got all the gear within here, once you have all these check marks checked off, if you're a checker off guy, you have the Riddler stuff to go after, and then you have master versions of everything we see here that you can chase as well. I hope you guys are enjoying the game. I know I really like it. I really hope this game has legs and has a long life. I love partaking in new looters. This one's got an interesting system, having not done a gear score. So I'm really curious to see again how these seasons roll out. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please sound off if I missed anything or if you have any questions. I'll be making a build video if you'd like to. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make one on my boomer, and then I'm going to go ahead and start cranking away on my other characters. I'm really excited to try out Harley. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, keep being good humans. I'm Hitman BK.